Welcome to this training brought to you by the North San Diego County Realtors, where we turn real-world case interpretations published by the National Association of Realtors into practical lessons that strengthen your understanding of the Code of Ethics in action. Today's focus: obligations under exclusive listing from Case Interpretation 1-10 under Article 1 of the Realtor Code of Ethics. Let's begin with Article 1 of the Realtor Code of Ethics, which provides the foundation for this case. This standard reminds us that protecting and promoting a client's interest isn't passive. It requires ongoing advice, communication, and effort throughout the listing. In this case, the realtor didn't fail in pricing strategy at the outset, but in withholding his updated professional judgment once the market told a different story.
At the time, Client A signed an exclusive listing agreement with Realtor B. They discussed marketing conditions and prevailing prices and agreed on listing it at $156,900. After 6 weeks, with no apparent interest in the house, Client A called Realtor B to learn why his property was receiving scant attention from prospective buyers. Realtor B said, "It's not hard to diagnose the trouble. Your property is overpriced." That was clear to me by the time we had listed it for 10 days. In this market, it would take a really interested buyer to go as high as $149,000 for it. That's why it hasn't been possible for us to push it. "When you reached that conclusion, why didn't you tell me?" asked Client A. "Because," said Realtor B, "it wouldn't have done any good. I know from experience that sellers can't be convinced that they're overpricing their property until they get tired of waiting for an offer that will never come. Now that the market has taught you something that you would not take as advice, let's reduce the price to $148,900 and push it." Client A complained about Realtor B to the Board of Realtors, detailing these circumstances, strongly insisting that Realtor B had fully agreed with him on the price at which the property was originally listed. Client A reiterated this point strongly at the hearing of his complaint, which was held before a hearing panel of the board's Professional Standards Committee. Realtor B did not contest this, taking the position that at the time of the listing, it was his judgment that a price of $156,900 was fair and obtainable in the market. He stated that a strong immediate sales effort had convinced him that the listed price was excessive, and he defended his action of reducing his sales effort as he had done in his discussion with the client. He said that many years of experience as a broker had convinced him that once a seller decides on a definite price for his property, no argument or analysis will shake his insistence on getting that price, that only an action in the market is convincing to the sellers. The hearing panel concluded that Realtor B's conduct had violated Article 1 of the Code of Ethics, which requires realtors to protect and promote their clients' interests. The panel also found that since Realtor B honestly felt the original listing price of $156,900 was the fair market value at the time he listed it, Realtor B had not violated the Code of Ethics by suggesting that the price be lowered. However, since Realtor B later concluded the property was overpriced, he should have immediately notified Client A of his conclusion and not waited for Client A to call him 6 weeks later.
Here's what happened. Client A listed his home for $156,900 with Realtor B under an exclusive listing agreement. At the time, both agreed that this was a fair market price. But after 6 weeks, the property had drawn little to no interest. Curious and frustrated, Client A contacted Realtor B to ask why the house wasn't selling. Realtor B told his client that the problem was obvious: the property was overpriced. He explained that within the first 10 days of listing, it was clear that the home wouldn't attract buyers at $156,900. He estimated that buyers might only pay around $149,000. But here's the issue. Instead of sharing this conclusion immediately, Realtor B admitted that he reduced his effort and waited for Client A to learn from the market through inactivity. Disappointed, Client A filed an ethics complaint. He accused Realtor B of failing to protect his interests by withholding the professional advice he needed to make an informed decision. Client A argued that since Realtor B had originally agreed with the listing price, it was only fair to expect him to update that advice when he concluded the property was overpriced. Instead, the client was left in the dark for 6 weeks. At the hearing, Realtor B explained that he did believe $156,900 was fair at the time of listing, but once showings failed to produce offers, he concluded the home was overpriced. His defense? That sellers don't listen to advice until the market proves them wrong, so he felt it was pointless to raise the issue until Client A was ready to hear it. In his view, the market is the best teacher. The hearing panel found Realtor B in violation of Article 1. They clarified Realtor B did nothing wrong by initially agreeing to list at $156,900, nor by later suggesting a reduction. The violation came from his failure to notify the client immediately once he concluded the price was too high. By waiting 6 weeks and only responding when the client reached out, Realtor B failed to promote and protect his client's interest. Here are the key takeaways. Exclusive listings require active communication, not passive waiting. Your client depends on timely professional advice, even if it's unwelcome news. Withholding conclusions, even out of strategy, can harm your client's interest. Protecting your client means sharing what you know as soon as you know it. Let's reflect. If you realized a listing was overpriced, how quickly would you tell your client? Have you ever delayed giving tough feedback, and what happened as a result? What tools or market data could help you deliver the truth in a way that builds trust rather than damages it? Thanks for joining us for this case interpretation review. Exclusive listings demand more than effort. They demand ongoing advice, updates, and candor. Protect your client's trust, act with honesty and loyalty, and stay grounded in the code. For more real-world training and resources, visit www.youtube.com/NSDC Realtors.